the most important thing is not even the Leafs game last night. It's Sean Couturier getting scratched.
No, it's not.
Because that preempts the Leaf game.
My name's John Tortorella. Don't ask questions about the very notable thing that I did.
The Flyers...
My first game back from suspension.
The Flyers scratched Couturier 34 days after being named captain.
He hasn't scored in a while. Mm-hmm. His offensive production is awful. But someone posted his like underlying numbers, like his offensive impacts and defensive impacts. He's still a very good player.
Well, and he also is coming off of an injury.
Yes.
And the fact that he came back to the NHL after not playing for 2 years because of an injury.
It was multiple back surgeries that he had over the course of the last 2 seasons. He played a little in the 21-20, or he missed the entire, he played a little in the 22-23 season. No, that would have been last year. He missed all of last year, a little bit in the year before.
21-22, I think you're looking.
My years are mixed.
Yeah, it was like 2 games, though, wasn't
24.
it?
Yeah.
I think
but basically 2 full years because of back surgeries.
He has an opportunity to do something I think I'm quite confident no NHL player has ever done, which is be named an NHL captain, be healthy scratched, and win the Masterton Trophy in that order in the same season.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Like there's I think there's some other contenders, but I think he's the front runner right now.
He should be.
He's got to be nominated.
Everybody's nominated. Everybody's one nominated.
Because if you look at Pacioretty, I feel like there's a very similar case, But I don't know if we need to run down the front runners for the Bill Masterson Award.
Whose struggle was the hardest?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous debate to have.
I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
The old Greg Wyshynski bit.
What's that?
Whenever everyone's going through what they did to deserve the trophy, he does an impression of Bill Masterton, and he goes, "Yeah, I died."
Is that what Greg does?
He used to do it on Merrick vs. Wyshynski.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
it was that or Puck Soup.
This is the second straight show we've brought up Bill Masterson.
That's right, because he was
his jersey's retired in Dallas. Yes.
That's it.
It's my guy right there. He knows. Jesse knows.
He does know.
First North Star ever to be retired. Bill Masterson.
Yes.
No, so this is 34 days after Couturier was named captain. Now, it's really important, I think, for context here. If you're not following every Philadelphia Flyers outlet from the entire year because you're not a Flyers fan, it's important to note that Torts was emphatic before the start of this year there would be no captain.
Well, Adam, not every Flyers outlet. All but one, because one cannot get their questions answered.
Which one's that?
It's I think his name's Anthony Sanfilippo.
Is that the guy from the
he was
the Kevin Hayes thing earlier this year?
From the Kevin Hayes story.
And Torts was like, "I'm not answering your question."
Yeah, but it was the first question yesterday. He goes, "John, blah, 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 blah," and John goes, "Not answering your question." And then they move on to the next reporter.
I have the, do you have it, Jesse? Because I have the Tortorella presser. Oh, you got Couturier already.
Yeah, I think it's more important.
Well,
I think that's where you're going, right?
Yeah, well, so I was going to do that, and then I was going to send you Rocky Thompson's press conference. But let's do that first. Let's do Couturier.
Yeah, so here's Sean Couturier pregame after the morning skate being asked about being scratched.
Talked yesterday how trying to fight off frustration is this kind of testing your frustration and patience?
Definitely. Like I said, I control what I can control. It is what it is. We move on.
Have you spoken with Tortorella about this yet or no?
Somewhat, but doesn't matter honestly what I think. Gotta leave my ego aside, I guess, and hopefully team finds a way to get a win here tonight, and I can get back into it soon.
You were the last guy off the ice. I know you're a pretty driven worker, but how much is this driving you even more?
Yeah, it's tough. I feel I've been putting the work in for a while. I know I've been struggling, trying to work on my game, so definitely frustrated the way I've been treated around, I guess, but lately, it is what it is.
Yeah. Has he given you any direction on what he needs to see from you, or what you need to work on to make sure you're in the lineup and getting a lot more minutes than you have been?
Not really. I've gotten the same answer as you guys. Just need to see more. Still looking to find out what that is, but I'm trying every game. It's not like I'm just sitting around or doing nothing. I think, like I said yesterday, I felt last couple games with the limited ice time or opportunities I've been getting, been doing all right. But I guess we're going on, with the best lineup available tonight to get a win. So it is what it is.
And Adam, we keep bringing up coaches being mean, like the Nashville Predators, but gosh darn it, they win. They keep winning. So coaches need to be more mean.
It couldn't be because here's what's going to happen. First off, we're not going to talk about this yet because we need to hear what Rocky Thompson.
Well, with that clip
Yes.
in there, what two things he said that were really important were that he said he doesn't like how he's been treated lately, which is a big thing to say to the media, and he doesn't know what he can do to get back in the lineup. He said, I have the same information as you guys, which is very telling.
Well, and this is why I want to get to Rocky because his agent spoke to The Athletic. So I think. Not Rocky's. Couturier's agent did speak to The Athletic. So we're going to get to that in a second. But first, Rocky Thompson is the assistant coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Why is he taking a morning press conference in Philadelphia? Well, it just happened to be the time that Torts was getting his cast off. It couldn't have been over his suspension. It had to be at that moment and that time that Rocky Thompson had to take the press conference, not Torts. Couldn't wait till after to get a cast cut off. Had to be then.
Torts
had to be right then.
Torts has the most fascinating relationship with the media.
I know.
And last night's press conference, I don't
Hold on,
know.
we're playing a clip.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Play the clip, and this is what he had to say about it. This is all that was said.
Remind me.
Rocky, with Sean Couturier, he played a lot of hard minutes early in the season, kind of like what he had been doing before his injuries. His role's diminished a little bit. How much do you think maybe that is watching his minutes, but also understanding it's performance related as well?
Well, I think that's more of a question for Torts and how Torts manages his minutes. I can't get into the mind of our head coach that way. So I think Cout's done a good job. He works extremely hard in practice, and he's trying to get himself better, without a doubt. So.
This time of year.
Okay.
How about the? Oh.
So
that's more of a Torts question, and then Torts, when he does show up, doesn't.
We'll play that too. We're gonna play that
Like-
because I think it's important. But I want to say here's what Torts' boss said. I can tell you one thing with John Tortorella. It doesn't matter who it is. That's what he's known for. He treats everybody the same way.
Yeah, that was Daniel Briere,
Yeah.
GM,
And then
backing his guy.
And then here's what Couturier's agent said about it, because this is, I think, really key to this.
Who is his agent?
Let me just pull it up here. Okay.
Sure.
So
Pop quiz.
hold on. You go ahead and say I've got to pull up the article because I got the wrong link here.
Oh, okay, sure. One like positive piece of feedback with John Tortorella that's always been there is he's tough, but you always know where you stand with him.
Mm-hmm.
Players, who go to bat for Tortorella say we always know where we stand with him. Did Sean Couturier sound like he knew where he
Not
stood
in
with
this
him?
case.
No.
No, Sean Couturier sound confused, unsure of what he can do. He didn't really understand why he was in the position he was in. And one thing I thought The Athletic pointed out that was interesting about this scratching, it comes off of Saturday where he played the least amount of minutes he played all season, 11 minutes.
11, yeah.
Yeah, and then he got demoted to the fourth line midway through the game when they came out for the second period. He was bumped down to the fourth line after starting in the top six. But then in the third period, I believe, when the goal was scored, he directly caused a goal with a forecheck. Something that is like hardworking. It's something the fourth line is supposed to do on the fourth line. And when you lead to those goals, usually you should be rewarded with more playing time. So I'm also confused as to, I get he hasn't been playing well for a long stretch of time. Clearly the couple weeks he's been playing, but it's just a little confusing because he doesn't have answers himself.
Well, and here's what the agent said. Agent hasn't spoke to him. His name is Eric Lupien. He only has 2 contracts. He's got Sean's and he's got Gabriel Fortier from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Couturier was at one point, up until January 13th, as Jesse said, 20 minutes on ice a night, and then it's fallen since. Here's what the agent said. He was clueless about his ice time and why his ice time went down when he spoke to him Tuesday, and this is before the scratching. He said, I'm just going to manage and maybe, manage the minutes he wants me to play. If I'm playing 14 minutes, I'm going to play 14 minutes. Throughout last year and the beginning of this year, in conversations with Sean, he always told me that Tortorella had him as a pretty good, had a pretty good relationship. As soon as we get through that character, he's a pretty funny guy, and the conversations with him are good, and he knows what the team wants. From my point of view, When I saw the news that Couturier was scratched, I'm like, I really hope the communication why and the reasons why are really clear. I hope he's going to get an explanation soon because he's the captain and he's the leader of this team. That's why he said, and he's had Philadelphia tattooed on his chest since he was drafted. That's why he wanted to sign there long term. I hope he's going to get that respect from Tortorella. He has not been spoken to directly about this.
So
I'm sure he has now.
I'm trying to figure out what order to do this in. So in defense of Tortorella's decision, right?
Yeah.
So I talked about his underlying numbers and what Jesse,
They're bad.
No, they're good.
Oh, the underlying numbers? Yeah.
Well, on the season.
On the season, yeah, but since mid-January is the point of when he's struggling.
So this is the problem.
Yeah.
So like you go, oh, why? It's pretty obvious. You look at his game log. So, and yes, this is just counting stats, but it matters. February 10th against the Seattle Kraken. That was Sean Couturier's last goal. He had a goal and he was -1 that night. The next game, February 12th against the Arizona Coyotes, he had an assist. Again, he was a -1. The next night, or next game, -2. Next game, -3. Next game, -1. Next game, -1. Next game, -2. Even though he had 2 assists. Then he was even. Then he was -2. Then he was -1. Even, -1. His last plus game. So his last goal was February 10th. His last plus game was a game where he had no goals, no assists against the Florida Panthers, February 6th. That was his last plus game. Plus, like, dude, that's really, really tough. We gave Sean his flowers earlier in the season, and he deserved them. Torts might have a point.